Have you ever looked in the mirror and struggled to love the person staring back at you? That quiet ache of not feeling quite good enough, of picking apart every perceived flaw? You're not alone in that feeling, far from it. So many of us walk around carrying that weight. But here's the hopeful truth. Today we're going to start changing that narrative together. Why is self-love so incredibly important? For so long, many of us were taught that focusing on ourselves was selfish or vain. But genuine self-love is the cornerstone of a wholehearted life. It's not about arrogance, it's about recognizing our inherent worthiness, imperfections and all. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. How you treat yourself teaches others how they can treat you. If you devalue your own needs, you might find yourself in relationships where you feel unseen or unheard. When we cultivate self-love, we're saying to the world, I am worthy of respect, kindness, and love. This isn't about demanding perfection, but establishing a baseline of acceptable treatment. Self-love is the wellspring of our emotional resilience. Life is not always smooth sailing. There will be disappointments and setbacks. When anchored in self-love, we have a safe harbor to return to. We can navigate storms with greater strength because our worth isn't tied to external achievements. This resilience is crucial for daring greatly and living courageously. Self-love profoundly impacts our mental and physical well-being. When you love yourself, you're more likely to engage in behaviors that nourish your mind and body. Self-love helps mitigate internal warfare, allowing for moments of peace and self-forgiveness. Finally, self-love unlocks your true potential, giving you the courage to step into the arena and pursue your dreams. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Recognizing signs that we might be struggling with self-love is crucial. Sometimes these signs are loud and clear like negative self-talk, but often they are subtle like constantly apologizing. Do you find yourself saying, I'm sorry for things that aren't your fault? This can indicate that you feel like an inconvenience. True self-love allows you to own your space and voice without apology. Another sign is difficulty accepting compliments. When someone offers you praise, do you deflect it or downplay it? This can signal discomfort with acknowledging your own good qualities. Obsessing over perceived flaws is another indicator. True self-love involves embracing our imperfections as part of our human experience. How do we cultivate a deeper, more compassionate relationship with ourselves? Practice mindful self-awareness. It's about turning inward with curiosity and kindness. One effective way is through daily check-ins. Pause a few times a day to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? This act of pausing and noticing is powerful. We often rush through our days on autopilot, disconnected from our internal landscape. Daily check-ins create anchor points to connect with your experience. Pay attention to your dominant thoughts. Is your internal monologue kind and supportive or harsh and critical? Journaling can deepen this self-awareness. It's about cultivating a more intimate and compassionate relationship with yourself. Once we become aware of our inner critic, the next step is to challenge it. The inner critic often sounds like an authority, but much of what it says is rooted in old fears and past hurts. Pause when you hear negative self-talk and question its validity. Is this thought really true? Whose voice is this really? Recognizing the origin of these critical messages helps us see them as learned scripts. Consciously work on flipping the script. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. For example, if your inner critic says, "You always mess things up," reframe it to, "I made a mistake, and that's human." This process takes practice, but it's about changing your relationship with the inner critic. Think of it like training a muscle. Every time you catch a negative thought and challenge it, you're strengthening your self-compassion muscle. This is an act of profound self-respect. By questioning and actively choosing a different way of speaking to ourselves, we diminish the power of the inner critic. This is where self-love can truly take root and flourish. Learning to set boundaries without guilt is essential for self-love. Boundaries define what is acceptable in terms of how others treat us. They protect our well-being and are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines for respectful interaction. Many of us struggle with setting boundaries due to fear of disappointing others. But setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's about saying, my needs matter. Good boundaries create clarity and foster healthier relationships. Begin by identifying one area where you feel drained and practice saying a gentle but firm no. Notice the feelings that come up and remind yourself why you're setting this boundary. Setting boundaries isn't about being aggressive. It can be done with kindness and compassion. Healthy boundaries demonstrate self-awareness and self-love. They allow you to show up more authentically and generously. Protecting your peace is a necessity for a life rooted in self-worth. Invest in relationships that nurture your spirit and align with your commitment to self-love. Celebrating small wins is a powerful practice for nurturing self-love. Small victories are the building blocks of a strong sense of self-worth. They are moments of showing up for yourself and deserve to be acknowledged. Celebrating small wins shifts our focus from what we haven't done to what we are doing. This practice builds momentum and motivation. Perfectionism often gets in the way, but self-love invites us to appreciate the effort and process. At the end of each day, reflect on your small wins. Keep a small wins journal to record these moments. The celebration can be simple, like a moment of gratitude or sharing your win with a friend. This practice of celebrating small wins is an act of self-compassion. It builds a reservoir of positive self-regard that strengthens your self-love. Surrounding yourself with support is crucial for self-love. The people we surround ourselves with impact how we see ourselves. Choose relationships that uplift, encourage, and affirm you. Invest time and energy in relationships that reflect your worthiness. Be aware of relationships that leave you feeling small or criticized. Creating distance from those who make you feel small is about protecting your well-being. True belonging happens when we are loved for our authentic selves. Seek out new connections if your current network isn't nurturing. The journey of self-love is not meant to be solitary. Supportive connections act as a buffer against challenges and self-doubts. They remind us that we are not alone and worthy of love. Invest in relationships that nurture your spirit. This isn't about seeking external validation but creating an environment that supports your self-love. Your circle of support is a precious resource. Tend to it with care. Committing to self-compassion daily is transformative for self-love. Self-compassion is about extending kindness to ourselves, especially in moments of failure. Dr. Kristen Neff identifies three components: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness means soothing ourselves rather than berating ourselves. Common humanity reminds us that everyone struggles and makes mistakes. Mindfulness involves holding our painful thoughts in balanced awareness. Practicing self-compassion daily means integrating these elements into your life. It might mean offering yourself kind words when overwhelmed. Self-compassion is not self-pity or self-indulgence. It's a source of strength. It motivates us to learn from mistakes and keep trying. Committing to self-compassion is a practice, not a perfect performance. The key is to meet your own suffering with warmth and care. This daily commitment is a profound expression of self-love. It creates a sanctuary of kindness within yourself. Embracing your journey of self-love is about recognizing your worth right now. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. If you're ready to start loving yourself, declare it in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You don't need to be perfect to be lovable. You already are right now, with all your imperfections and strengths. Self-love is a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice. Every time you choose kindness, set a boundary, or celebrate a win, you're strengthening that practice. You're not broken. You're becoming who you were always meant to be. Wherever you are in your journey, know this: you are worthy. You are powerful beyond measure. Thanks for watching, and keep loving yourself forward.